Chapter 182. Apart from Mullins and the rest, many other disciples and elders of the four great halls also rushed to the White Tiger Hall after hearing the news. On the square of the White Tiger Hall, Lu Ming and the four elders had exchanged more than 10 blows. Lu Ming's aura was like a demon, and he was getting stronger and stronger as the battle went on. The more he fought, the better he was at using the power of the beast spirits. Boom! He pulled out his spear, and one of the elders was sent flying while coughing out blood. "Those who stand in my way shall die." Lu Ming roared and shot out several spear rays that seemed to be able to pierce through space. Bam, bam, bam. The remaining 3 elders were sent flying while coughing out blood. "Lu Yunxiang, it's your turn." Lu Ming took a step forward and charged at Lu Yunxiang. His target had always been Lu Yunxiang from the beginning. "No, save me." Lu Yunxiang's expression changed drastically as he frantically ran backward. At the same time, he screamed, "Stop him! Lu Yunxiang is young Master Lin's father-in-law. We can't let him die." Duanmu Chao and the other 3 elders roared and pounced at Lu Ming. Violent attacks surrounded Lu Ming's back. If Lu Ming killed Lu Yunxiang, he would be killed too. Lu Ming's eyes flashed fiercely as he roared, "Then I'll kill you first." Whoosh! Lu Ming turned around and stabbed his spear behind him. The spear was as fast as lightning. Everyone only saw a flash of light in the air. Poochie! Blood splattered everywhere, followed by a roar of anger and despair. The spear pierced through Duanmu Chao's abdomen. The abdomen was not a vital point, and Duanmu Chao was not dead yet. "No, don't kill me. If you kill me, you'll die too." Duanmu Chao screamed in horror. "You're still saying that even now? What a joke." Lu Ming's eyes were cold. His spear trembled, and a powerful force erupted. Duanmu Chao screamed in agony as his body was torn into pieces. Blood, organs, and bones scattered on the ground. Boom! Then, the spear light exploded and collided with the other 3 chief elders. Amidst the violent explosion, Lu Ming and the 3 chief elders hurriedly retreated. However, the direction in which Lu Ming was retreating was the direction in which Lu Yunxiang was running. Lu Yunxiang saw that Duanmu Chao had been blasted into pieces by a single shot, and Lu Ming was rushing towards him. He was even more frightened as he screamed repeatedly, "Evil creature, you are courting death." Suddenly, a furious roar came from the sky. It was an old man in a silver robe. His killing intent was incomparably sharp as he flew over from the distance. "Silver-robed elder. My Duanmu clan's silver-robed elder has arrived." "Haha, Lu Ming is dead for sure." Lu Ming, that bastard. He must have fused with a powerful beast soul. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such strong battle prowess. But no matter how strong he is, facing the silver-robed elder, he will be killed with one slap. The disciples of the White Tiger Hall shouted. The silver-robed elder could only be a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert was also known as a martial ancestor realm expert. A martial ancestor realm expert could already establish a sect and was extremely powerful. Before he arrived, an extremely terrifying pressure pressed down on Lu Ming. Boom! Following that, the silver-robed elder blasted out a palm across the air. A powerful and terrifying palm print blasted towards Lu Ming. Wild winds howled as the palm print shook the heavens. A mountain-like pressure acted on Lu Ming's body, causing Lu Ming's body to be unable to move. Is this the strength of a martial ancestor realm expert? He is much stronger than a martial grandmaster realm expert. Block it. I must block it. Ancient shield. Lu Ming roared in his heart. The beast soul energy in his body circulated wildly. An ancient shield condensed and floated in front of Lu Ming. The shield condensed from the beast soul energy was more solid than before. It gave off an even more desolate and ancient feeling. At the same time, Lu Ming's long spear stabbed out crazily. In an instant, hundreds of powerful spear radiances blasted forward. Boom! The silver-robed elder's palm print finally blasted out. Bang! Bang! In an instant, Lu Ming's spear radiances were shattered one by one. They exploded in the air like balls of fireworks. The hundreds of spear radiances were swept away. The palm print continued to move forward. Lu Ming used the high air steps and quickly retreated. However, he was still hit by the palm print. Clang! The ancient shield made a melodious vibrating sound. The shield shook violently, and in the next moment, it exploded with a loud bang. However, this was an Earthrealm martial skill after all. Moreover, it was operated by the beast soul energy. Compared to the shield condensed from his true chi, its defensive ability was much stronger. Although it was shattered, it still offset most of the palm power. However, the remaining palm power was still very strong. Lu Ming blocked with his long spear. With a loud bang, his body was pushed back more than 100 meters, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. A long gully appeared under his feet. However, he still managed to block it. Hiss! The sound of people inhaling cold air could be heard continuously. Lu Ming could block the palm of the silver-robed elder head-on and not die. How could this be possible? This was a martial grandmaster. Even if there were 100 martial grandmasters at level 9, they would not be a match for a martial grandmaster at level 1. However, Lu Ming blocked it. Unbelievable! Bang! At this moment, the silver-robed elder jumped down from the sky and stomped heavily on the ground. The ground exploded with a loud bang and a large pit appeared. He was an old man in his 60s with white hair and beard. At this moment, his eyes were full of killing intent and a hint of surprise. He carefully looked at Lu Ming and sneered. It turns out that you have merged with a powerful beast soul. No wonder you can block my palm print. Get out of my way. I want Lu Yunxiong. Today, I will kill him. Lu Ming said coldly. The surrounding people were shocked again. What did it mean to be audacious? This was how he dared to say such words in front of a martial grandmaster. Stupid. Someone scolded coldly. Ha ha ha. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family laughed loudly and then scolded. Now, kneel down and destroy your own cultivation. Wait for your punishment. The silver-robed elder stood between Lu Ming and Lu Yunxiong. His aura erupted, and he stood there like a mountain. Lu Ming was under great pressure. It seems that I can only use my last move. Lu Ming's eyes revealed a trace of madness. If he was going to go crazy, he would go crazy until the end. He decided to merge with the half of the Monster King's soul. However, the Monster King's soul contained a terrifying amount of energy. With his current cultivation, he would probably explode. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, which had been upgraded to level 6, he was not confident. However, there was no way out now. Even if he retreated, the Duanmu family would not let him go. Only by fighting could he pave a way out. It seems that you are not willing to? Since you're so stubborn, then let me deal with you, you disgraceful little bastard. The silver-robed elder shouted and threw another palm print at Lu Ming. The power of this palm print was stronger and more terrifying than the previous one. Obviously, he had not used his full strength in the previous palm print. Come on then. Let me see how powerful a martial grandmaster is. The madness in Lu Ming's eyes intensified, and there was a strong determination in them. Beast soul merge? Howl. A giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky like the king of all monsters. A terrifying aura spread out. Monster King, the Monster King soul. Chapter 183. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, his voice shaking the entire White Tiger Institute. Everyone was shocked to the extreme. Their eyes widened as they stared blankly at the giant silver wolf above Lu Ming's head. Heavens, that's the soul of a demon king? Everyone sucked in a mouthful of cold air. A demon king? What kind of existence was that? If it was alive, it could destroy a sect like the Mystic Essence Sword sect. It was extremely powerful. With a wave of its hand, it could split a river and split a mountain. It had the power to destroy the heavens and the earth. How did Lu Ming obtain the soul of such an existence? Lu Ming, are you trying to merge with the Demon King soul? Are you crazy? You're courting death. How can you merge with the Demon King soul? The silver-robed elder roared. Merge. However, Lu Ming's gaze was firm as he uttered a single word. Roar. The giant silver wolf howled as it charged into Lu Ming's body. Roar. At that instant, Lu Ming let out a furious roar as the aura on his body surged. With a flash of light, the silver-robed elder's palm was shattered. Following that, a dazzling white light overflowed from Lu Ming's body. Even his hair turned silver-white. His silver-white hair danced in the wind. At that moment, Lu Ming looked like a powerful demon. Kill! Lu Ming roared as he thrust out his spear. A silver-white spear radiance burst out. His target was the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family. His speed was unimaginably fast. Why didn't you explode? The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared in disbelief. How could a mere second-grade martial master withstand the power of the Demon King's soul? However, he did not know that Lu Ming was able to withstand the power of the Demon King's soul because of his spirit-devouring bloodline. However, even so, the pressure that Lu Ming was under was still unimaginable. The power of the Demon King's soul was too strong. Although it was only half a Demon King, it allowed Lu Ming's power to increase rapidly. He broke through the martial arts Great Master rank in one fell swoop, allowing Lu Ming to temporarily have the ability to compete with a martial arts Great Master. But this tyrannical power caused Lu Ming's body to suffer quite a bit of damage. His bones were groaning as if they would break at any moment. If I don't kill Lu Yunxiong, how could I possibly explode? Since you want to stop me, I'll kill you first. Lu Ming let out a long roar, his aura surging like a rainbow. His figure flashed, stepping into the air and charging towards the silver-robed elder. So what if you fused with the beast's soul? Do you really think you can contend against me? I will let you know how naive you are. The silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family roared, exploding with all his strength. At this moment, the entire square was shrouded in an indescribable pressure. Boom! The two figures clashed in the air, resulting in a shocking explosion. Bang! Following that, a figure frantically retreated. Silver-robed elder. It was that silver-robed elder. First layer martial ancestor realm. Lu Ming burst out laughing as his aura became even more terrifying. With a kick, his figure transformed into a silver ray as he charged at the silver-robed elder. At that instant, the silver-robed elder wore an unpleasant expression. Fusing with the beast's soul, he had only read about it in ancient records. He did not expect it to be this powerful, to the extent that even his cultivation of the first-layer martial ancestor realm was no match for it. Hold him off. I just need to hold him off for some time. When the other experts of the White Tiger sect arrive, Lu Ming will surely die. The silver-robed elder quickly thought of this, before he clenched his teeth and charged at Lu Ming. Bang! Bang! Following a series of explosions, the crowd could only see two glowing figures colliding with one another in midair, resulting in a series of explosions and shockwaves. Shush! After more than 10 exchanges, a figure was sent flying a few hundred meters backward, leaving a trail of light behind him. As the light dissipated, the crowd could see the silver-robed elder of the Duanmu family standing in midair, trembling while vomiting blood. His eyes were filled with astonishment. The crowd on the square could not describe their current feelings. It was too shocking. Lu Ming had managed to injure a martial ancestor. Unbelievable, absolutely terrifying. Although it took a long time to describe, it had only taken place in the span of a few breaths. How could this be? How could this be? At the edge of the square, Lu Yunxiong trembled in fear and almost burst into tears. Initially, he thought he was safe after seeing the silver-robed elder, as Lu Ming would not be able to do anything to him. However, after Lu Ming had merged with the beast's soul, he managed to injure the silver-robed elder and almost scared him to death. Run! We have to run. Lu Ming, this bastard, is too evil. Lu Yunxiong let out a roar in his heart as he turned around and ran toward the peak of the White Tiger sect. Lu Yunxiong, you won't be able to run away. Lu Ming's cold voice could be heard. With a flicker, he appeared above Lu Yunxiong's head in the blink of an eye. Lu Yunxiong screamed and jumped 3 zhang high. He quickly turned around and looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming reached out and clenched his fist. A silver palm appeared out of thin air and grabbed at Lu Yunxiong. Lu Yunxiong could not resist and was caught by the silver palm. No, don't kill me. Help, help. Lu Yunxiong's face was flushed red as he tried to prick himself with needles. He screamed crazily. Lu Ming, let go of him. Do you know who he is? He is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law. If you kill him, you will be in big trouble. Do you know that? The silver-robed elder from the Duanmu family flew over and shouted, Big trouble? Just because he is Duanmu Lin's father-in-law? What a joke. Lu Ming smiled coldly. Then, he exerted force in his hand. Cracking sounds came from Lu Yunxiong's body as countless bones were crushed. Lu Yunxiong screamed in agony. No, Lu Ming, don't kill me. I am your elder. Lu Yunxiong screamed, bullshit. Lu Ming shouted coldly, his gaze cold, Father. At that moment, an anxious voice came from the sky. Then, a stream of light flew over from afar. Lu Ming's eyes flickered as he looked at the stream of light. There were two figures in the stream of light. One of them was Lu Yao. The other person was a young man who was about 17 or 18 years old. He was wearing a black suit and had a handsome and cold face. There was a terrifying aura around him. Martial ancestor. The young man who looked like he was about 17 or 18 years old was a martial ancestor realm expert. Duanmu Lin, that is Duanmu Lin. Oh my god, he is flying in the air. Martial ancestor realm. Duanmu Lin has broken through to the martial ancestor realm. It's true, it's true. Duanmu Lin is only 18 years old. An 18-year-old martial ancestor. This is too terrifying. There are only a few people like him in the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Lu Ming is done for. The onlookers could not help but shout when they saw the young man. Duanmu Lin? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Yaoer, save father, save father. Lu Ming is going to kill me. Lu Yunxiong shouted desperately when he heard Lu Yao's voice. It was as if he was grasping at straws. Whoosh. Chapter 184. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Let him go? Do you think that's possible? You're as naive as before. Lu Ming said with a smile. Lu Ming, you went to the White Tiger Institute and killed their disciples for no reason. Now, you're trying to kill my father. Do you know what crime you've committed? Let my father go. Lu Yao yelled. Crime? What a joke. Lu Yunxiong and the Duanmu clan killed the people of the Lu clan for no reason. They even tried to kill my mother. What crime am I guilty of? Lu Ming retorted. What? Lu Yao was shocked. Obviously, she did not know that Lu Yunxiong had gone to the Lu clan. However, she quickly regained her composure and said coldly, I don't care. Lu Ming, let my father go. Lu Ming, I'm begging you. Please let me go. It's my fault. Please have mercy on me. Lu Yunxiong shouted. Clearly, he was truly afraid. Have mercy? Haha, Lu Yunxiong, what a joke. Did you show mercy to the core elder of the Lu clan? If I didn't make it in time, would you have shown mercy to my mother? Lu Ming's voice became colder. Lu Ming, let me give you a piece of advice. You'd better let him go and kneel down to admit your guilt. This is your best choice. Otherwise, I, Duanmu Lin, will say that no one can save you. Duanmu Lin placed his hands behind his back and said coldly. His aura was terrifying. There was a haughty look on his face. No one in this world can save me? Who do you think you are? There are so many geniuses in this world. Do you think you're the best just because you have a little bit of cultivation? You're just a frog in the well. Lu Ming looked at Duanmu Lin and scolded him. The people around them were dumbfounded. Lu Ming said that Duanmu Lin was a frog in the well? They were confused. What did you say? Duanmu Lin's face darkened. Nonsense. I'll kill Lu Yunxiong right now. Let's see what you can do to me. Lu Ming berated. Then, he looked at Lu Yunxiong and sneered. All right, Lu Yunxiong. I'll send you on your way now. No, don't. Lu Ming, don't. I don't want to die. Save me. Lu Yunxiong screamed crazily. His eyes were filled with fear and hesitation. No. Lu Yao shouted. How dare you? Duanmu Lin berated. Bang. Lu Ming sneered and clenched his fist. The silver palms suddenly closed, and with a bang, Lu Yunxiong was struck by an enormous force and exploded. Lu Yunxiong was dead. Father! Lu Yao screamed. Then, she looked at Lu Ming and shouted crazily, Lu Ming, Lu Ming, I want you to die a horrible death. Boom. Duanmu Lin's aura became even more violent. His face was incomparably gloomy, and the killing intent emanating from him seemed to have materialized. Lu Ming, you've made a very foolish choice. Duanmu Lin's voice was cold. With a wave of his hand, Lu Yao fell to the ground. Die. Then, Duanmu Lin shouted and charged toward Lu Ming. Kill. Lu Ming also shouted and charged toward Duanmu Lin. They are fighting. They are fighting. Duanmu Lin and Lu Ming are fighting. Someone shouted excitedly. Duanmu Lin was an unparalleled genius with extraordinary talent. He had awakened his bloodline at a very young age and was invincible. Among his peers, no one was a match for him. He suppressed geniuses with special bloodlines and was known as one of the 4 great geniuses of the Mystic Essence Sword sect. Moreover, he was ranked first among the 4 great geniuses. He had too many honors in the Mystic Essence Sword sect and was believed to be a genius who could surpass Feng Wuji in the near future. Lu Ming, on the other hand, had only joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect for slightly more than a year. However, he had created miracles one after another. The newcomer king, first on the bronze list in his first year, had comprehended force when he was only a martial master. Now, he had charged into the White Tiger Hall for his family. He was a lawless person. Now that the two of them were facing each other, everyone's attention was drawn to them. Among them, who would win? Everyone stared fixedly at him. Boom. Finally, the two of them collided in the air. Silver and black lights shone in the air and occupied the entire sky. Whoosh, whoosh. Then, the two of them flew back a few hundred meters. He's much stronger than the silver-robed elder. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Duanmu Lin had just broken through to the martial ancestor realm, but his combat strength was much stronger than an ordinary first-stage martial ancestor realm. He was much stronger than an ordinary expert of the same level. Duanmu Lin was also shocked. Then, kill. Kill. The two of them charged forward at the same time. Terrifying attacks rained down on his opponent in a frenzy. Boom. Boom. In the blink of an eye, the two of them had exchanged more than 10 blows. Roar. Suddenly, a black leopard appeared. Its body was covered in lightning, and it had a horn on its head. It stood on top of Duanmu Lin's head. Bloodline. That's Duanmu Lin's bloodline. It's a 7th grade bloodline. It's said that it has the bloodline of a dragon and is extremely powerful. Someone shouted, Sun Thunder Saber Cut. Duanmu Lin unleashed his bloodline and roared. He slashed with his saber and endless saber radiance appeared, forming a sun. The sun floated in the air, and its power was immeasurable. It was accompanied by terrifying saber radiance that blasted toward Lu Ming. Earth grade martial skill. It's an Earth grade martial skill. Someone shouted, Silver Wolf Howling Moon. Lu Ming's eyes lit up and he let out a loud roar like a wolf king. Then, a giant silver wolf appeared. The giant wolf was as big as a mountain and it howled at the sky. Then, a full moon appeared above the silver wolf's mouth. The full moon emitted endless radiance and blasted toward Duanmu Lin. This was the Silver Wolf Demon King's superpower. It was contained in the beast soul, and Lu Ming could use it temporarily. The sun and the full moon met in the sky, and there was an explosion of endless air waves. Heaven and earth were in chaos and energy waves were shooting everywhere. Between the sun and the full moon, a beam of light shot up to the sky and a big hole appeared in the clouds. Everyone looked at the sky, dumbfounded. They looked at the sun and the full moon and the two young men. Break! Duanmu Lin roared. You're still far from it. I'll break you. Roar. Lu Ming howled like a wolf. The silver radiance on his body was so dense that it seemed to have materialized. Sizzle, sizzle. The pressure on Lu Ming's body was getting stronger and stronger. It began to make sizzling sounds. Lu Ming's entire body was in excruciating pain. Fine blood beads even seeped out of the pores all over his body. However, Lu Ming didn't care at all and crazily activated the power of the beast soul. Roar. In the sky, the silver wolf that was as large as a mountain howled. The light of the full moon became even more resplendent. Boom. The sun was suppressed, and its radiance dimmed rapidly. It was on the verge of collapse. Rumble. Following that, there was a rumbling sound as the sun began to tremble rapidly. Then, it exploded with a loud bang. Duanmu Lin's body shook violently, and he fell to the ground like a cannonball. At the same time, he spat out a mouthful of blood. Duanmu Lin was injured and defeated. Chapter 185. Duanmu Lin, the peerless genius, had already broken through to the martial ancestor realm. However, he was still defeated by Lu Ming and spat out blood. Although Lu Ming had merged with the spirit of the king of beasts instead of his own strength, it was still shocking enough. It was a miracle to be able to merge with the spirit of the king of beasts. Ordinary people would not be able to do it. What peerless genius! You're just a short-sighted kid with some achievements. I'll kill you now. Lu Ming let out a roar as he charged toward Duanmu Lin while his body was covered in a silver glow. The crowd was dumbfounded. He was audacious. He was really audacious. Lu Ming actually wanted to kill Duanmu Lin. Everyone knew that Duanmu Lin was the hope of the Duanmu clan. He was the hope for the rise of the Duanmu clan. It would be fine if Duanmu Lin was killed, as there would still be some time left. However, if Duanmu Lin was killed, the Duanmu clan would not rest until one of them was dead. However, Lu Ming's eyes were filled with determination. He was determined to kill Duanmu Lin. Bang! The silver moon emitted a brilliant glow. Each ray of light was like a spear glow that charged toward Duanmu Lin. Lu Ming, don't you dare. The elder in a silver robe from the Duanmu clan dashed toward Lu Ming without caring about his injuries. A brilliant saber glow was unleashed, but it dissipated as soon as it came into contact with the light of the moon. The elder in a silver robe could not withstand the attack and was knocked backward while spitting out blood. Lu Ming continued to charge toward Duanmu Lin. Beast, how bold! At that instant, a loud roar could be heard from the heavens and earth. The roar caused the heavens and earth to tremble as a powerful pressure burst out from the sky. Many disciples of the four academies with weaker cultivation spat out blood and fell to the ground with pale faces. Following this, the clouds in the sky rumbled as a giant hand reached out from the clouds and grabbed at Lu Ming. It's the chief of the White Tiger Institute. Someone yelled. Bang! The dean of the White Tiger Institute was too powerful. Although he was also a martial ancestor, he was much stronger than the silver-robed elder and Duanmu Lin. The giant hand was still high up in the air. It trembled slightly, and an inconceivably powerful force appeared and blasted towards Lu Ming. Bang! The silver full moon was like a bubble, dissipating without a sound. The giant silver wolf roared angrily, but it was also defeated. Lu Ming's body shook violently. He spat out a mouthful of blood and retreated madly. However, the giant palm did not stop there. It continued to press down on Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. Lu Ming was completely enveloped by the giant palm, and it was difficult for him to escape. Duanmu Pijuan, as the headmaster of the academy, you actually made a move against a junior disciple. Do you have no fucking shame? At this moment, a furious roar came from the south. At the same time, a sword light instantly traversed the void and slashed towards the giant hand. The sword light and the giant hand collided with each other. Like a hot knife through butter, the giant hand was crushed into pieces. Then, the sword light continued to fly toward the clouds in the sky. Yanlan. A furious roar came from the clouds. Then, a terrifying saber light flashed past. Boom. Energy swept out and the clouds dissipated, revealing a figure inside. It was the headmaster of the White Tiger Academy, Duanmu Pajuan. A figure appeared in the south. It was the headmaster of the Vermilion Bird Academy, Yanlan. The two headmasters faced each other from a distance. Their auras intersected, and a huge pressure spread out between heaven and earth. Lu Ming, bastard. I'm going to kill you. Below, Duanmu Lin roared. His long hair danced in the wind. His aura was like a demon, and his killing intent was so dense that it was tangible. He was actually injured by Lu Ming in front of everyone. This was a great humiliation to him. He must kill Lu Ming with his saber. Roar. An earth-shattering roar came out. Duanmu Lin's body emitted an extremely dense blood-red light. Then, a flood dragon rushed out from Duanmu Lin's body. This flood dragon was more than 10 meters long and had a slender body. It had 4 claws on its abdomen, and its body was covered with black scales. Lightning constantly flowed on the scales, and a king-like aura spread out. The most eye-catching thing was that there were 2 chakras on the black flood dragon's body. These chakras were not blood red, but silver. 2 silver chakras. Almost everyone at the scene was stunned. Then, they shouted, "King Grade Bloodline. This is a King Grade Bloodline. Moreover, it's a Grade 2 King Grade Bloodline." Duanmu Lin's second awakening is actually a Grade 2 King Grade Bloodline. This is too shocking. Monster. Monster. There is hope for a martial king in the future. Most of the people could not help but shout. When a martial artist broke through from the martial master realm to the martial ancestor realm, there would be a nirvana process. During this process, one could awaken a second bloodline and awaken a second type of bloodline. Generally speaking, the second awakening of a bloodline's grade would be higher than the first awakening. As for whether the grade was higher or lower, it was completely uncertain. It depended on one's potential and accumulation. This was a real nirvana. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was not high enough, but they could awaken an extremely high-grade bloodline in the second awakening. From then on, they would soar into the sky and become a world-renowned expert. Some martial artists' first awakening of a bloodline's grade was very high, but the second awakening of a bloodline might only be 1 grade higher than the first. In that case, they would slowly be overtaken by others. Generally speaking, Grade 9 bloodlines had another name, which was Mortal Grade Bloodline. Mortal Grade Bloodline's chakras were blood red. Above Mortal Grade Bloodline, there was another grade of bloodline, which was called King Grade Bloodline. King Grade Bloodline was also divided into 9 grades. The chakras were silver, which was much stronger than Mortal Grade Bloodline. Mortal Grade Bloodline could not compare to King Grade Bloodline in terms of cultivation speed or the increase in combat strength. It was said that there was another type of bloodline above King Grade Bloodline, which was called God Grade Bloodline. However, this grade of bloodline was only a legend and was rarely seen in the world. Duanmu Lin's second awakening of a bloodline was a Grade 2 King Grade Bloodline, which was shocking. One should know that most people's second awakening of a bloodline was only a Grade 9 Mortal Grade Bloodline. Those who could awaken a King Grade Bloodline were few and far between. Duanmu Lin's King Grade Bloodline had raised his aura to the peak. Great Sun Thunder Saber Cut. Duanmu Lin roared. His saber cut through the void and endless saber radiance condensed into a sun. This sun was twice as strong as the previous one. Silver Wolf howls at the moon. Lu Ming roared and unleashed the beast soul power in his body to the extreme. Another giant silver wolf appeared and howled at the sky. A silver full moon appeared, which was brighter than the previous one. Boom! Once again, the sun and the moon collided in the sky. Endless light filled the air, and the space trembled as if it was about to explode. Kill! Kill! Duanmu Lin roared crazily as his violent genuine chi surged out. However, Lu Ming also unleashed the beast soul power to the extreme. Crack! 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 Lu Ming's body kept emitting sounds like beans being fried. His bones were trembling and his muscles were wriggling. Blood was seeping out of his pores. Chapter 186. Devour. Lu Ming controlled his bloodline with all his might and devoured the tearing force. The terrifying devouring force covered his entire body and prevented him from exploding from the beast soul's power. However, after a series of battles, Lu Ming's body was still severely injured. The rumbling continued as the sun and moon reflected each other in the sky. Everyone's eyes were fixed on the 2 young men in the sky. The 2 deans of the White Tiger Hall and Vermilion Bird Hall were confronting each other, and no one could interfere. Swoosh! Swoosh! In the sky, there were flashes of light as silver-robed elders appeared one after another. At first, it was the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall. Soon, the silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Hall, Azure Dragon Hall, and Black Tortoise Hall appeared in the sky. There were more than 20 silver-robed elders of the 4 halls. Boom! At this moment, the sun and moon in the sky suddenly collapsed and dissipated into energy. Kill! Kill! The two of them roared in unison as their killing intent surged like a tide and pounced towards each other. The saber aura and spear aura swept across the sky and tore through the air. The two of them continued to fight in the sky, and the battle was extremely intense. Below, Lu Yao looked at the sky in a daze as her eyes were filled with disbelief. Lu Ming, the previously weak and sickly trash who couldn't cultivate, had actually grown to this stage. She couldn't accept it and couldn't accept it. He's just relying on external forces. He can't be compared to Brother Lin. Brother Lin is 100 times, no, 1,000 times stronger than him. Lu Yao kept reminding herself in her heart, Lu Ming, senior brother Lu Ming. At this moment, Mullins, Feng Wu, Pang Shi, and the rest rushed over. Soon after, more people rushed over after receiving the news. For example, Zhang Muyun, Duan Gang, and the rest. After rushing over, they stood at the side and looked at the sky in shock. In the sky, Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin had exchanged more than 100 blows, but it was still difficult to determine the victor. Let's attack together and kill that little bastard Lu Ming. He killed dozens of our Duanmu clan's experts. A silver-robed elder of the Duanmu clan roared. Who dares? Yin Lan shouted as his sword aura soared into the sky. The other silver-robed elders of the Vermilion Bird Courtyard also unleashed their auras and rushed forward. Yin Lan, Lu Ming massacred the elders of the same sect. How dare you shield him? Duanmu Pejuan shouted loudly. We haven't figured out the cause of this matter yet. I believe that Lu Ming wouldn't do such a thing casually. There must be a reason behind it. Yin Lan didn't give in at all. I don't care what the reason is. It's a fact that Lu Ming massacred his fellow disciples. It's a fact that he killed my Duanmu clan. That's enough. He must die today. Duanmu Pajuan's voice was incomparably cold. Then why don't you try? Yin Lan coldly shouted. Both sides faced each other, and it seemed like an intense battle was about to break out. Enough. At this moment, a calm voice sounded from the depths of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Sect leader. The expressions of Yin Lan, Duanmu Pajuan, and those silver-robed elders changed. Whoosh, whoosh. For beams of light tore through the void and appeared above the square in an instant. For figures emerged. The person in the lead was the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's sect master, Lin Shui. Behind him were 3 old men in golden robes. They were all golden-robed elders. The moment the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's sect master appeared, he frowned and waved his hand. A gentle force was generated and surged towards Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin who were fighting. Their attacks dissipated into nothingness, and their bodies seemed to be pushed back by something, retreating backwards. Sect leader, please don't stop me. Let me kill this bastard. Duanmu Lin roared, and his body was filled with killing intent. You're an arrogant and self-righteous piece of trash. Do you think I'm afraid of you? It's not certain who will kill who. Do you really think you're a genius? In my eyes, you're just a piece of trash. Lu Ming coldly retorted. Bastard, smash it. I'm going to kill you. Duanmu Lin roared. Enough. The Mystic Essence Sword Sect's sect leader shouted again. This shout didn't seem heavy, but it reverberated in Lu Ming and Duanmu Lin's ears like thunder. Their expressions changed, and they didn't say anything. Sect leader, you've come at the right time. Lu Ming, this bastard, first killed dozens of people from the Duanmu clan. Then, he dared to kill his way into the White Tiger Hall. In front of everyone, he killed dozens of martial grand masters and even the chief elder. Such a rebellious and crazy person must die. I beg the sect leader to let me kill him personally. Duanmu Pejuan bowed to the sect leader and said, Duanmu Pejuan, don't accuse me. I said, let's find out the reason first. Yin Lan also cupped his fists and looked at Lu Ming and said, Lu Ming, tell me, what is going on? Didn't you kill dozens of people from the Duanmu clan before? The before that Yin Lan mentioned was obviously before they came to the White Tiger Hall. That's right. Lu Ming admitted it directly. Duanmu Pejuan was overjoyed and Yin Lan was shocked. Mullins and the others revealed anxious expressions. Duanmu Pejuan said, Sect leader, look, Lu Ming admitted it himself. I did admit it, but why don't you ask me where I killed them? Lu Ming sneered. I don't care where you killed them. It's a fact that you killed people from the Duanmu clan. Haha. Lu Ming sneered and ignored Duanmu Pujuan. He said, "It was in my clan, the Lu clan. Under the leadership of Lu Yunxiang, the people of the Duanmu clan slaughtered people from the Lu clan. They even wanted to kill my mother. Let me ask you, should these people be killed?" Lu Ming didn't speak to the people of the Duanmu clan. Instead, he spoke to the other people from the four great halls and the sect leader. What? There was such a thing? Everyone was shocked, and they all looked at Duanmu Pujuan. Damn it, Duanmu Pujuan. Your Duanmu clan has such great power. You actually killed the family of a disciple without permission. You're worse than a beast. If it were me, I would also kill them. Yanlan's hair stood on end as he glared at Duanmu Pujuan. Nonsense, Lu Ming. You're talking nonsense. You slandered my Duanmu clan. You deserve to die. Duanmu Pujuan shouted angrily. Slandered? The corpses of your Duanmu clan disciples are still lying in my Lu clan. Do you want to go and take a look? Lu Ming mocked. Duanmu Pujuan's face was a little ugly as he said, even if there was such a thing, it's possible that they heard the rumors and were bewitched. You should have returned to the sect and reported the situation. The sect would naturally investigate. However, you acted on your own and killed them. Your intentions are terrible. Ha ha ha. After hearing this, Lu Ming laughed loudly. He then said, Duanmu Pujuan, what you mean is that you want me to ignore the life and death of my family first and let your Duanmu clan people kill my Lu clan people and kill my mother. Then, I will return to report to the sect and make a decision. Has your head been kicked by a donkey? Or is your IQ so low? Lu Ming's voice, which was filled with disdain, was like a storm that spread throughout the entire place. Everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. Lu Ming actually dared to scold Duanmu Pujuan? He said that Duanmu Pujuan's head had been kicked by a donkey? Wasn't he too daring? Little bastard, what did you say? Chapter 187. Ha ha ha, well scolded, well scolded. This old man's head has already been kicked by a donkey. Yanlan laughed. Sect leader, you have seen it too. This kid has no respect for his elders. It is obvious that his character is low. Letting him live in this world is a disaster. Today, we must kill him. Duanmu Pujuan said to the sect leader. The sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect frowned. Lu Ming was undoubtedly a top genius. How could he say that he wanted to kill him? However, if he didn't kill him, how could he explain to the Duanmu family? Sect leader, Lu Ming killed 35 martial master experts and 15 great martial masters from the White Tiger Yard. There was even a chief elder who was a 9th grade martial master. These people were all elites of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. They gave their all for the sect. Yet, they died in the hands of a junior disciple. If we don't kill Lu Ming, I'm afraid we will be disappointed. That's right. Sect leader, even if those people were wrong, the martial grandmasters behind them were just guarding the White Tiger Hall and protecting the sect. What wrong did they do? Yet, they were killed mercilessly. Lu Ming must be killed. Some of the silver-robed elders of the White Tiger Hall also stepped forward. The crowd couldn't help but look at the square. There were more than 10 corpses lying there. The blood had yet to dry. Yanlan frowned. It was reasonable for Lu Ming to kill those people who barged into the Lu family. However, it was hard to justify these people. They prevented me from killing the real culprit. I reminded them that they asked for it. Lu Ming said coldly, Ha ha ha, what a joke. Lu Ming, according to what you said, if the sect leader stopped you, would you kill the sect leader as well? Duanmu Pujuan laughed. Lu Ming frowned and didn't say anything. He couldn't refute this point. This matter was caused by your Duanmu family. Lu Ming was trying to protect his family and his mother. In a moment of desperation, he attacked too heavily. This is human nature. It is pardonable. He doesn't deserve to die. Yanlan said. Yanlan, are you sure you want to protect Lu Ming? Duanmu Pujuan said. That's right. Yanlan was resolute and decisive. Then let's fight today. Let's see how long you can protect Lu Ming. Duanmu Pujuan roared. Boom. Duanmu Pujuan and Yanlan's auras exploded as they clashed in the air. The sect leader frowned. Pujuan, stop. An old voice sounded. Then, With a flash of golden light, a white-haired old man with a walking stick appeared in the air. This old man was wearing a golden robe. Clearly, he was a golden-robed elder. "Father, why did you come out of seclusion?" Seeing the old man, Duanmu Pajuan cried out in alarm. When the others heard this, they were all shocked. This person was actually Duanmu Pajuan's father? "This is troublesome," Yen Lan muttered with a frown. Below, Mulin's eyes were filled with worry. Duanmu Pajuan's father, Duanmu Tsanghai, was the previous clan leader of the Duanmu family. He was also the previous dean of the White Tiger Hall. Although his current identity was a golden-robed elder of the mystic essence sword sect, his cultivation was extremely terrifying. It was unfathomable and surpassed ordinary golden-robed elders. It was said that in recent years, he had been cultivating in seclusion in hopes of breaking through to the Supreme King realm. Unexpectedly, he came out of seclusion now. "Greetings, old clan leader." Everyone from the Duanmu family stepped forward and bowed. "Old Hai, why did you come out of seclusion? Did this matter need to alarm you?" The sect leader's expression changed slightly before he smiled. Duanmu Tsanghai revealed a dry smile and said, "Sect leader, if my old bones didn't come out for a walk, my Duanmu family would have been killed to the last man." The sect leader's expression changed slightly. He smiled and said, "Old Hai, you're exaggerating. Why did you have to go to this extent? I've already heard about this matter. Firstly, my Duanmu family was also in the wrong. We were bewitched by others. However, Lu Ming was too ruthless. Not only did he kill them all, he even killed his way to the White Tiger Hall and killed more than 10 martial grandmasters. This matter cannot be forgotten. He can be spared from death, but he can't escape punishment. I suggest that he be expelled from the sect." Duanmu Tsanghai said. "No way." Yen Lan took a step forward and firmly objected. "This old man is so scheming. If we expel Lu Ming from the sect, without the protection of the sect, they will definitely send people to kill Lu Ming." Mulin's eyes were filled with anxiety. "Old Hai, Lu Ming has a young temperament and is easily impulsive. However, it is not necessary to expel him from the sect." The sect leader said, "Haha, sect leader, it seems like you still cherish talents. However, you can also see that Lu Ming forcefully merged with the Demon King's soul. Even if he temporarily obtained strength, his foundation has been destroyed. He will no longer be a genius, but a cripple." Duanmu Tsanghai smiled and said. The sect leader frowned and pondered. After all, the Duanmu family was at fault in this matter. Lu Ming was only taking revenge for his family. Many young disciples would definitely stand on Lu Ming's side. If they expelled Lu Ming from the sect like this, many disciples would be bitterly disappointed. Seeing the sect leader hesitate, Duanmu Tsanghai's expression gradually turned cold. He said slowly, "Sect leader, my Duanmu family has been working hard for the Mystic Essence Sword sect for thousands of years. We have made countless contributions. Today, so many of our people were killed by a junior disciple. If you don't expel him from the sect, then let my Duanmu family leave." Boom. This sentence was like a thunderbolt that exploded in everyone's mind, causing a commotion. This was a blatant threat. Duanmu Tsanghai was using the entire Duanmu family to threaten the sect leader. Despicable, shameless. Pang Shi, Mulin's, and the others growled. The sect leader's expression also changed greatly. He said solemnly, "Old Hai, your words are too much." Although he said so, the sect leader had to take it seriously. In these years, the Duanmu family had become stronger and stronger. The entire White Tiger Hall had almost become their world. If they lost the Duanmu family, then the Mystic Essence Sword sect's vitality would be greatly damaged and their strength would weaken greatly. As the sect leader, he had to treat this seriously. Damn it, this old man. Yen Lan clenched his fists. Duanmu Pajuan and the other Duanmu family disciples sneered in their hearts. Let's see how Lu Ming will escape this calamity. After Duanmu Tsanghai finished speaking, a trace of scheming hung on the corner of his mouth. He narrowed his eyes slightly, waiting for the sect leader's answer. After pondering for a while, the sect leader took a deep breath. A bright light flashed in his eyes as he looked at Lu Ming and slowly said, "Lu Ming, Although there is a reason for this matter, you have gone overboard by killing more than 10 people from the White Tiger Hall. They were all from the same sect. This is a serious crime." The sect leader's dignified voice spread throughout the hall. "Sect leader, you can't." Yin Lan roared. "Sect leader, Lu Ming avenged his family. What is wrong with that? What crime is there?" Mulins also shouted. "If that's the case, then the Duanmu family can kill our family in the future and we can't take revenge. What kind of logic is this?" Pang Shi also roared, his voice shaking the entire hall. Many disciples' eyes flickered. Obviously, they agreed with Pang Shi's words. "Impudent, you dare to question the sect leader's decision. You are all guilty." Chapter 188. Duanmu Pijuan, what are you shouting for? Are you going to attack a junior? Yin Lan glared at Duanmu Pijuan. "Dean." Suddenly, Lu Ming shouted. Yin Lan looked at Lu Ming. The others also looked at Lu Ming. Lu Ming cupped his fists at Yin Lan and said, "Lu Ming thanks Dean for your help." Then, Lu Ming looked at Mulins and the others and said, "Senior Sister Mulins, Big Stone, Fengwu, you don't have to say more. I already understand this matter." After saying that, Lu Ming smiled indifferently. The sect leader's intention was clear. What he meant next was to expel him from the sect. "I'm still not important enough." Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Strength. Everything was still a matter of strength. He was too weak. If he was extremely powerful and surpassed the Duanmu family, why would the Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader have this intention? Why would he punish him? Even if he destroyed the Duanmu family, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader would not say a word. Although he had displayed an extremely powerful talent during this period of time, it was only now. After all, he was still young. Who knew what would happen in the future? Would he be like a shooting star, flashing and disappearing? There were too many examples of this in the world. Moreover, Duanmu Lin was also a peerless genius. Now that he had awakened a second-grade king bloodline, he had broken through to the martial ancestor realm at the age of 18. In many people's eyes, Duanmu Lin's future was definitely stronger than Lu Ming's. Therefore, in general, Lu Ming's value and weight were too far away from the Duanmu family. Therefore, the sect leader chose the Duanmu family in the end. This was the reality. Lu Ming sighed in his heart. Then, he smiled indifferently and looked at the Mystic Essence Sword Sect leader. His clear voice rang out, "Sect leader Lin, today, I, Lu Ming, am withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword Sect." His voice was calm and indifferent, causing everyone's hearts to tremble. Lu Ming was withdrawing from the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. "Lu Ming, no!" Mulin shouted. "Senior brother Lu Ming." Pang Shi gritted his teeth, his eyes wide open. Sigh. Zhang Muyun, Duan Gang, and the others sighed. Many of the Duanmu clan's disciples laughed loudly. Cold smiles appeared on Duanmu, Songhai, and Duanmu Pajuan's faces. "Senior Sister Mulin's, Big Stone, you don't need to say anything more. I've already made up my mind." Rather than wait for him to be expelled from the sect, he might as well withdraw himself. Alas! Sect leader Lin Shui let out a long sigh and said, "Lu Ming, I, Lin Shui, guarantee that no one will dare to touch your family. I will guarantee their safety for 10 years. "Elder you!" Lin Shui shouted. "I'm here." Behind Lin Shui, a golden-robed elder cupped his fists and said, "Set off immediately and guard the Lu clan in Windfire City for 10 years. Ensure the safety of the Lu clan for 10 years. Kill anyone who dares to touch the Lu clan." Lin Shui instructed. "Understood." The golden-robed elder cupped his fists and turned into a streak of light, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu Songhai's old eyes narrowed slightly. A sharp light flashed across them. Duanmu Pajuan's face was slightly ugly. It was obvious that Lin Shui's action was to guard against the Duanmu clan. "Many thanks, Sect Leader Lin." Lu Ming stepped forward, cupping his fists to express his gratitude. He was sincerely thanking Lin Shui. He was originally worried about the Lu clan and his mother, but there was no need for that now. With a golden-robed elder guarding the Lu clan would be absolutely safe for the next 10 years. "Lu Ming, I've let you down. As the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's sect leader, I have to think for the sect. Lin Shui's sigh sounded in Lu Ming's ears. Of course, it was transmitted through voice transmission. No one else could hear it. Lu Ming nodded, not saying anything. He then flew towards Yanlan. He saluted and said, "Sect leader, Lu Ming thanks you for your help." "Lu Ming, you don't have to do this. I can protect you even if I have to risk my life," Yanlan said. Lu Ming will remember sect leader's kindness. After saluting again, Lu Ming moved and came to Mulin's side. "Lu Ming, senior brother Lu Ming." Mulins and the others shouted, their eyes filled with anger and reluctance. "Everyone, take care in the future. I will come back to see you," Lu Ming said with a smile. "Senior brother Lu Ming, if you leave the sect, I will follow you. I won't stay here anymore." Pang Shi shouted, "Big Stone, what nonsense are you talking about? Cultivate well in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. With your talent, you will definitely achieve something in the future. Don't disappoint your parents," Lu Ming said, but his heart was filled with warmth. The best thing he had gained in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect was to make a few true friends. But, Pang Shi's eyes were red. His fists were clenched tightly. "But what? Cultivate well. We will definitely meet again in the future and drink together." Lu Ming patted Pang Shi's shoulder and said solemnly. Pang Shi clenched his teeth and nodded solemnly. "Lu Ming, you leave the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Be careful. The Duanmu family will not let you off so easily," Mulins warned, her eyes filled with worry. Lu Ming nodded. Of course, he was well aware of this. His relationship with the Duanmu clan was already irreconcilable. Suddenly, Lu Ming smiled and whispered in Mulins' ear, "Senior Sister Mulins, don't forget that you still owe me a reward. I will ask for it the next time we meet." Then, he took a deep breath. Mulins blushed and said softly, "As long as you are alive, everything is negotiable." "Everything is negotiable?" Is she hinting at something? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Then, he smiled and turned to leave. "Lu Ming, take care." Zhang Muyun strode out and cupped his fists at Lu Ming. "Lu Ming, take care." Ling Kong, Duan Gang, Zhua Yirong, Chung Failwan, and the rest walked out and cupped their fists at Lu Ming. "Haha, everyone, take care. Let's drink together next time." Lu Ming laughed heartily. "Next time? There will be a next time? Lu Ming, I will kill you." Duanmu Lin's eyes were cold and his voice was filled with killing intent. Lu Ming turned around and looked at Duanmu Lin with a sneer on his face. "Duanmu Lin, do you really think you are a genius? I, Lu Ming, swear today that I will take your head with my own strength within 2 years." "Haha, what a joke. With your own strength. You will never be a match for me in this lifetime." Duanmu Lin revealed a mocking smile that was filled with disdain. "Also, we'll talk about it again if you have the life to live. Liner, he is just talking nonsense. He forcefully merged with the Beast King's soul and will soon become a cripple. He is already at the end of his road." Duanmu Pijuan sneered. "Is that so? Old man, just you wait. Today, I killed more than a dozen people from your Duanmu family. In the future, I will definitely flatten the Duanmu family with the long spear in my hand." With that, Lu Ming let out a long laugh. Step by step, he stepped into the air and headed out of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. Under the sunlight, Lu Ming's young back view was filled with confidence, perseverance, unyielding spirit, and a heroic spirit that seemed to be ready to break through the heavens. This scene, this moment, this back view, was deeply imprinted in the minds of everyone present. Chapter 189. Lu Ming, I believe that nothing will happen to you. You will definitely be able to create a miracle and flatten the Duanmu family in the future, Mulins whispered. As for Feng Wu, he also looked at Lu Ming's departing figure with a complicated expression. This youth who was about the same age as him had joined the Mystic Essence Sword sect with her and participated in the examination together, but he had created too many miracles. Once, she had a special feeling for Lu Ming, but as Lu Ming burst out with a dazzling light, she suppressed that feeling. She knew that the gap between them was too big. In the future, it would only get bigger and bigger. Senior brother Lu Ming, Pang Shi clenched his fists tightly. His tiger eyes were filled with tears as his body trembled nonstop. Lu Ming, the world is unfair, but I believe that you will be able to break through all the obstacles. In the future, I will wait for you to discuss the Tao with me. Zhang Muyun muttered to himself. At the side, Zhua Yirong tightly grabbed onto Zhang Muyun's hands. Lu Ming, Lu Ming. Lu Yao stared blankly at Lu Ming's departing figure. At this moment, she didn't know why, but her heart was filled with complicated emotions. On one hand, she hated that Lu Ming was just a trash that she had abandoned, but he actually had such a high talent. Furthermore, he had killed his father and crippled his brother. On the other hand, she was afraid that Lu Ming would really one day kill his way to the Duanmu family and destroy everything she had. Lu Ming, you should go to hell. In the end, Lu Yao growled. Sigh. The sect leader of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, Lin Shui, let out a long sigh. She turned around and took a step forward, disappearing into the horizon. Duanmu Songhai looked in the direction where Lu Ming had disappeared. His turbid old eyes flashed with a bright light. Pujuan, this child is too extraordinary. He is a peerless genius and must not be allowed to live. If he does not die, my heart will not be at ease. Duanmu Songhai said solemnly to Duanmu Pujuan. Duanmu Pujuan was greatly shocked. His father actually thought so highly of Lu Ming. Was Lu Ming's threat really that great? Father, don't worry. I will arrange it. Duanmu Pujuan bowed. That's great. Duanmu Songhai nodded, then took a step forward and disappeared without a trace. The crowd slowly dispersed. However, after today's events, Lu Ming's name was destined to shock everyone in the Mystic Essence Sword Sect. His name would be engraved in the history of the sect. Lu Ming left the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and quickly flew into the distance. Not long after, he rushed into a mountain forest. At this time, the aura on his body was rapidly declining. Although the Demon King's soul was powerful, it had been holding on for so long, and its energy had been depleted. Puff. Lu Ming's body trembled, and he couldn't help but spit out a mouthful of blood. The backlash from the Demon King's soul is too strong. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, my body was nearly unable to withstand it and was severely injured. Lu Ming pondered. At this moment, his bones were faintly cracked, his muscles were torn apart by a powerful force, and his skin was covered with a thick layer of blood scabs. However, it was not as serious as Duanmu Pujuan and the others had imagined. They had thought that Lu Ming was already crippled. As long as Lu Ming focused on recuperating, he would recover in a few days. This was the uniqueness of the spirit-devouring bloodline. Lu Ming looked in the direction of the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, his eyes shining brightly. In the end, I'm still too weak. The Duanmu family used their entire family to suppress the Mystic Essence Sword Sect's sect master. Of course, I can't compare to an entire family. But that's only for now. Soon, I will prove that I, alone, can suppress an entire family, an entire force. I want to become stronger. With a spear in hand, I can dominate the world. That's my goal. Lu Ming clenched his fists, his eyes filled with determination. There's also Autumn Moon. This time, I can't bid farewell to her. If she knows that I left the Mystic Essence Sword Sect, I wonder what she will do? That girl will probably cause a huge ruckus. Lu Ming thought to himself, forget it. There will be a time when we meet again. The most important thing now is to recuperate. With a thought, Lu Ming appeared in the Temple of Paragon. He took out a healing pill, swallowed it, and started to recuperate. 2 days later, Lu Ming's injuries were 80% healed. Mother must be worried about me this time. I should go back home and see her. Then, I'll go to the imperial capital and cultivate while thinking of a way to save my father. After planning the rest of his journey, Lu Ming left the Temple of Paragon. He found a small river in the forest and washed the blood off his body. He then changed into a black robe and put on a bamboo hat. He left the forest and headed toward Fenghua City. The black robe and bamboo hat were the same ones he had used before. He had always kept them in the Temple of Paragon. The Duanmu family wouldn't let him off so easily. Hence, he had to be careful. On the way to Firestorm City, he changed directions a few times. He only returned to the Lu family 7 days later. Ming-er, you're fine. That's great. At the first sight of Lu Ming, Li Ping's tears rolled down her cheeks. She hugged Lu Ming tightly. Lu Ming had chased after Lu Yunxiong. During this period, she had been on tenterhooks every day. She was afraid that something had happened to Lu Ming. Mother, I'm fine. Don't worry. Lu Ming smiled. That's great. That's great. Li Ping nodded incessantly, looking at Lu Ming carefully. Then, he chatted with Li Ping about the Lu family situation. Previously, the 2nd to 6th branches of the Lu family had all surrendered to Lu Yunxiong. However, Lu Ming had returned. Not only did he kill all of Lu Yunxiong's men, but he even chased after Lu Yunxiong. Seeing those invincible experts lying in the Lu family's courtyard as corpses, the Lu family's members were terrified. It was unbelievable that Lu Ming was so strong. For the past few days, they had been waiting in fear for Lu Ming's return and his judgment. After chatting with Li Ping for a while, the remaining 3 core elders of the Lu family came to greet him. The 3 of us greet the young lord. When the 3 core elders saw Lu Ming, they bowed and greeted him. Elders, there's no need to be so polite. Lu Ming quickly helped the 3 core elders up. He was touched and respectful that the core elders still stood by the Lu family and Li Ping's side at the moment of life and death. The 3 core elders looked at Lu Ming with undisguised joy in their eyes. Lu Ming's combat strength was so strong that he could chase after Lu Yunxiong and return alive. This meant that the Lu family would rise soon. They were naturally happy. Young lord, the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches are waiting outside. One of the core elders said. Oh, then let them wait. Come, 3 elders, let's have some tea and chat. Lu Ming smiled and invited the 3 core elders to take a seat. Then, Lu Ming asked about the Lu family situation and the details of how Lu Yunxiong came to the Lu family. In the blink of an eye, 2 hours had passed. Go, let them in. Lu Ming ordered a maid. The maid acknowledged and went out. Soon, 5 middle-aged men came in. These 5 middle-aged men were the leaders of the 2nd to 6th branches and the elders of the Lu family. Greetings, young lord. Chapter 190. Lu Ming sat upright in his seat and accepted the bow calmly. He glanced at them and sneered. I'm your young master? Your master should be Lu Yunxiong, right? The faces of the 5 branch leaders paled, and one of them said, Young lord, you've misunderstood. That day, the force Lu Yunxiong brought with him was too strong. If we resisted, we would have been annihilated. If that happened, the Lu family would be finished. Yes, young master. We surrendered to Lu Yunxiong only as a temporary measure. We wanted to preserve our lives and wait for your return. Oh, is that so? Lu Ming looked at them with a faint smile. He did not speak, but picked up his teacup and drank slowly. The 5 branch leaders looked at each other. They did not know what Lu Ming was thinking and felt uneasy. At that time, the Mystic Essence Sword Sect had already informed them of my death, right? Waiting for my return? Did they already know that I was not dead? Lu Ming asked calmly. The 5 of them began to sweat and looked at each other. Then, they braced themselves and said, Young master, you are a genius. How could you die so easily? We already guessed that you were not dead. That's why we decided to take advantage of you. Oh, I see. You are all very resourceful. You can even tell someone's fortune, Lu Ming said calmly and continued to drink his tea. The 5 branch leaders' faces turned red, but they could only grit their teeth and keep quiet. The atmosphere seemed to have frozen. Lu Ming drank his tea. The 3 core elders and Li Ping did not speak. The 5 branch leaders could only stand there and did not dare to make a sound. The current Lu Ming was no longer the useless young master from back then. His combat power was unparalleled and his cultivation had reached an incredible level. Killing them was easier than killing an ant. Unknowingly, he had formed a very powerful aura. They did not even dare to breathe loudly in front of Lu Ming. Lu Yunxiong has been killed by me. Suddenly, Lu Ming's voice sounded. What? Not only were the 5 branch masters shocked, but even the 3 core elders were shocked. I've already killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger Hall. Therefore, don't think that you're lucky. This is the fate of those who betray the Lu clan. Lu Ming said coldly. Hiss, everyone gasped. Lu Ming had actually killed Lu Yunxiong in the White Tiger courtyard and still managed to return alive. Just how capable was he? It was already hard for them to imagine. At the same time, the 5 branch leaders were terrified. They looked at each other and actually knelt down together, saying, Young Lord, we were really foolish that day. Please forgive us, Young Lord. We will wholeheartedly assist Young Lord in reviving the Lu family. If we disobey, we will die a horrible death. Why can't I believe it? Lu Ming looked at the 5 branch masters with a faint smile. The cold sweat on the faces of the 5 branch masters became denser and dripped down continuously. How about this? All of you swear an oath on your inner demons and I'll believe you, Lu Ming said indifferently. An oath on your inner demons. The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically. An oath on one's inner demons was to swear to one's own heart, using one's blood essence as a stepping stone. Once a martial artist made an oath on his inner demons and went against it in the future, it would be easy for the inner demons to flare up during cultivation, resulting in chi deviation and death. Why? If you don't want to make the oath, I won't feel at ease leaving you here. Lu Ming's voice turned cold. The 5 branch masters' faces changed drastically, and they quickly said, Yes, we'll make the oath. Then, the 5 of them swore an oath on their inner demons. Lu Ming smiled and said, In the future, you will know that you made the right choice. Now, you may leave. The 5 branch masters quickly excused themselves. Elders, the Lu clan's strength has been greatly reduced after a series of twists and turns. However, quality is more important than quantity. I have some secret manuals here. Take them and cultivate. Lu Ming's phone lit up, and a stack of books appeared on the table. Secret manuals on cultivation and martial techniques? The 3 core elders were confused, and they each picked up a book and flipped through it. As soon as they opened the book, their eyes widened in shock. High-grade yellow class martial techniques? Mine is also a high-grade yellow class martial technique. Mine too. The 3 core elders exclaimed in unison. Elders, here are 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques. Take them and cultivate. You can also choose the best seedlings in the clan and teach them. Lu Ming smiled. 5 high-grade yellow class martial techniques and 10 low-grade yellow class martial techniques? The 3 core elders sucked in a breath of cold air. The Lu clan only had 1 high-grade yellow class martial technique, and it was regarded as the clan's ultimate technique. Ordinary people were not qualified to cultivate it. The Lu clan did not have many low-grade yellow class martial techniques, only 6 or 7 of them. Now, Lu Ming actually took out so many secret manuals in one go. If the Lu clan's disciples cultivated them, their strength would rise quickly. Thank you, young lord. The 3 core elders thanked Lu Ming, their bodies trembling with excitement. Elders, you don't have to thank me. Since I am the young lord of the Lu clan, this is what I should do. Lu Ming said. In the Dongi clan's ruins, Lu Ming had obtained more than 30 yellow class martial technique manuals. These manuals were useless to him, so he could only sell them. It was better to keep them in the Lu clan and increase their strength. There's more. Lu Ming's mind moved, and a few more jade bottles appeared on the table. Inside these jade bottles were some medicinal pills. Some could heal injuries, some could expel poison, and some could increase the cultivation of martial soldier or martial mentor. They were all obtained by Lu Ming from the enemies he killed. They were useless to Lu Ming, but to most of the Lu clan's Meridian Opening Realm and Martial Soldier Realm martial artists, they were of great use. Take these pills. As for how to divide them, you can decide. Lu Ming said, Young lord, if you give them to the clan, what about yourself? One of the core elders asked. Take them. I have no use for them. Lu Ming smiled. Good. We'll take them. We'll distribute them to the disciples who are loyal to the Lu clan and increase the clan strength. Another core elder said excitedly. The 3 of them carefully put away the pills. Li Ping was so happy that she couldn't close her mouth when she saw Lu Ming take out so many treasures. The 3 core elders bid farewell to Lu Ming. They were in a hurry to go back and discuss how to use these treasures to increase the Lu clan's strength as soon as possible. Lu Ming stayed in the Lu clan for 7 days. After 7 days, Lu Ming decided to bid farewell to Li Ping. He couldn't hide in the Lu clan forever. There were some things he had to face. Moreover, he had to investigate Lu Yunqian's whereabouts as soon as possible. In the main residence's courtyard. Ming go out. Be careful. Li Ping didn't urge Lu Ming to stay. She only reminded Lu Ming to be careful. A man's ambition was to travel far. Moreover, a genius like Lu Ming couldn't be trapped in one place. That would only bind him. Li Ping knew this very well, so she didn't urge him to stay. Mother, don't worry. Ming will be fine, Lu Ming said. Afterward, Lu Ming pondered and hesitated. After a while, he said, Mom, Ming has something to tell you. Chapter 191. In the past, he chose to keep it a secret as he was worried about Li Ping. However, after experiencing so many things during this period of time, he understood a lot more. If he told Li Ping this news, although she would be worried, there would still be hope in her heart. No matter what happened, there would always be a glimmer of hope in her heart. As long as there was hope, it was enough. What news? Li Ping asked curiously when she saw Lu Ming's solemn expression. Father, he might not be dead, Lu Ming said seriously. As soon as he finished speaking, Li Ping's body suddenly trembled and her eyes widened. Then, Li Ping's body trembled more and more violently. Her eyes flashed with strong hope as she said in a trembling voice, Ming, what did you say? Mother, I said that father might not be dead, Lu Ming repeated. Not dead? Not dead? Ming is that true? Slowly, Li Ping revealed an emotional expression as tears flowed down her cheeks uncontrollably. Then, she asked again, Ming where did you get this news from? Is it true? If your father is not dead, where has he been all these years? Mother, it's like this. Then, Lu Ming told Li Ping about his encounter with Zhou Linshan in detail. So it's him. He sent me a spiritual sword and a pendant back then. I once asked him about Yun Tian's whereabouts, but he told me that Yun Tian was dead. It turns out that he was lying back then. In that case, Yun Tian is really still alive in this world? Li Ping said excitedly. Her eyes were filled with hope. Yes, Mother. Now that father might be in the hands of the Shifang sword sect, I plan to go to the imperial capital to investigate father's whereabouts. Ming I heard that the Shifang sword sect is the strongest sect in the Blazing Sun Empire. You must be careful and cautious, Li Ping warned. She was very worried. Mother, don't worry. Ming will not clash with the Shifang sword sect now. I'm just investigating. Nothing will happen, Lu Ming said. Li Ping was relieved. Mother, don't worry. As long as father is still alive, Ming will definitely save father and let our family reunite. Lu Ming said firmly. Ming Mother believes in you. Li Ping smiled. Lu Ming nodded heavily and said, Mother, Ming will leave now? Go. Lu Ming bid farewell to Li Ping and left. Walking out of the Lu mansion, Lu Ming looked towards the back of the Lu mansion. He pondered for a moment before he made his way there. Behind the Lu residence was an orchard filled with fruit trees. Among them, there were also small bridges, flowing water, pavilions, and lakes. The environment was very elegant. Lu Ming walked into the orchard and came to a small lake. Beside the lake, there was an old man fishing. This old man was none other than the golden-robed elder sent by the Mystic Essence Sword Sect Master, Lin Shui, to guard the Lu family. Lu Ming, your senses are really sharp. When I was cultivating for the past 2 days, you were able to sense even the slightest fluctuation. The golden-robed elder smiled. Lu Ming, thank you for coming to guard the Lu family. Lu Ming cupped his fists and bowed. You don't have to thank me. I'm just following orders. Moreover, this is what you deserve. After all, the sect has wronged you. The golden-robed elder sighed. Lu Ming was silent and did not say anything. The golden-robed elder pondered for a moment and sighed. Lu Ming, I hope you don't blame the sect master. In fact, he was put in a difficult position. As the sect master, He has to put the mystic essence sword sect's interests first. Senior, I'm not blaming anyone. In this world, the weak are prey to the strong. If I want to blame someone, I can only blame myself for being too weak. However, sooner or later, I will surpass all forces and families. Heaven will no longer be able to cover my eyes. Lu Ming said. It seemed like he was talking to the old man, but it also seemed like he was talking to himself. The old man was stunned. He seemed to be moved. No matter what, Lu Ming still wants to thank you, Senior. Lu Ming cupped his fists again and bowed to the old man. He then turned around and strode away. Looking at Lu Ming's back, the old man was in a daze. After a long time, he let out a long sigh. Sect Master, perhaps you made the wrong choice this time. After leaving the orchard, Lu Ming did not leave Firestorm City immediately. Instead, he found a secluded place and entered the Temple of Paragon to cultivate. Time passed and night fell. Lu Ming finally left the Temple of Paragon. He put on his black robe and bamboo hat and left the city. Then, he headed in the direction of the imperial capital. The imperial capital was located at the center of the Burning Sun Empire. It was more than 10,000 miles away from Firestorm City. Even with Lu Ming's current movement technique, it would take him more than 20 days to reach the imperial capital. The first 3 days were calm and peaceful. However, on the evening of the 4th day, Lu Ming, who was in a hurry, suddenly stopped. He felt a few murderous intents looming over him. Someone wanted to kill him. Without any hesitation, Lu Ming stomped his foot and soared into the sky. Just as Lu Ming soared into the sky, a sharp and cold sword chi pierced the place where Lu Ming had been standing. With a sizzling sound, the sword chi left a bottomless hole in the ground. Swoosh, swoosh. Then, 7 or 8 figures flashed out from all directions like ghosts. Lu Ming swept his gaze across the room. There were 8 figures in total. They were all wearing black robes and masks on their heads. They were wearing silver wolf masks. Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Lu Ming immediately realized that this was the Shadow Wolf Pavilion, one of the top 4 assassin organizations in the Burning Sun Empire. The silver wolf masks meant that they were silver wolf assassins of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. 5 6th-grade martial masters and 3 7th-grade martial masters. The Shadow Wolf Pavilion really thinks highly of me, Lu Ming? Lu Ming's eyes flickered. Kill! Kill! 8 murderous cries and 8 extremely sharp sword chi pierced towards Lu Ming. Let's see who will kill who? Lu Ming roared. At the moment of life and death, Lu Ming directly activated his bloodline. At the same time, an ancient shield appeared on his body. Explode! Lu Ming ignored the attacks of the other 7. His long spear turned into a ray of light and shot towards a 6th-grade martial master assassin of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Pung pung pung. 7 consecutive attacks landed on Lu Ming's body. 4 of them were blocked by the shield. The shield buzzed and vibrated continuously, but it was not broken in the end. However, a shield could only cover a limited area and could only block one direction. 3 more sword chi landed on Lu Ming's body. 50% of the attacks were absorbed by the spirit-devouring bloodline, but the remaining power still made Lu Ming's body tremble. Boom! At this moment, Lu Ming's attack also exploded. The 6th-grade martial master expert did not even have time to scream before he was killed by a spear. Devour. A huge devouring power appeared and devoured the blood essence of the assassin. Damn it! Didn't they say that Lu Ming merged with the Demon King's soul and was half-crippled? How can it be so terrifying? It seems that the information was wrong. Let's avoid that shield and directly attack Lu Ming's body. Once the time of his bloodline is up, we can kill him. Chapter 192. Chi-Chi. 7 silhouettes flickered rapidly. They were like 7 shadow wolves. Their speed was extremely fast. As their figures flashed, streams of sharp and ruthless sword chi avoided Lu Ming's ancient shield and stabbed towards Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming shouted, ignoring the attacks from all directions. He only targeted a 6th-layer martial master assassin and attacked with all his strength. The assassin was shocked and quickly retreated. However, Lu Ming was even faster. He used the high air steps to the extreme and his body seemed to be weightless. Landslide. Lu Ming's long spear smashed down heavily from above. 100-meter-long spear light, as thick as a water tank, smashed towards the assassin. Bang! Although the assassin tried his best to block, he was still sent flying and blood spurted out of his mouth. Chasing thunder. With a sizzling sound, the spear light pierced through the assassin's heart like lightning. Another person was killed. However, in the process, Lu Ming was hit 7 or 8 times. Even with the spirit-devouring bloodline, his face was still pale and blood flowed out of the corner of his mouth. He was injured. At this moment, his aura was rapidly declining. It was time for his bloodline to erupt. It's time for his bloodline to erupt. The remaining assassins were overjoyed. Just now, Lu Ming was like an undying demon god. He ignored the attacks and killed 2 people in a row, which made their hearts tremble. He's already injured and his strength has weakened. He can't escape. A 7th-layer martial master assassin shouted. The figures of the remaining 5 flashed, and they surrounded Lu Ming. You were sent by the Duanmu family, right? Lu Ming suddenly asked. Why do you care who sent us? We're here to take your life anyway. An assassin sneered, his voice cold. Lu Ming sneered. Although the other party did not go easy on him, he was sure that it was the Duanmu family. Other than the Duanmu family, who would want to kill him? He guessed that he had been targeted not long after coming out of Firestorm City. Moreover, when Lu Ming went to the Mystic Essence Sword Sect to participate in the assessment, he was assassinated by the Shadow Wolf Pavilion in Mystic Sword City. At that time, his only enemy was the Duanmu clan. Lu Ming would never believe that it wasn't the Duanmu clan. Speak. What is the relationship between the Duanmu clan and your Shadow Wolf Pavilion? Or perhaps, what is the relationship between your Shadow Wolf Pavilion and the Mystic Essence Sword Sect? Lu Ming asked coldly. You're about to die, yet you still have so many questions. However, you'd better go and ask the King of Hell. Kill. A 7th-level martial master assassin coldly shouted and charged towards Lu Ming. The other 5 people also launched their attacks. Sword Chi was like a net, covering Lu Ming. Whoosh! Lu Ming didn't take it head-on. Instead, he used high air steps to dodge. However, the other party was a top-notch assassin with a tacit understanding of each other. Lu Ming simply could not dodge all of their attacks. If not for the protection of the ancient shield, he would have been injured long ago. Even so, Lu Ming was still surrounded by danger. Lu Ming's current cultivation was at the peak of the 3rd-level martial master realm. Without activating his bloodline, he could fight against a 7th-level martial master expert and even suppress them. However, the other party had 3 7th-level martial masters and 3 6th-level martial masters. With their tacit understanding of each other, Lu Ming was completely at a disadvantage. 6 streams of sword chi completely enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming's long spear moved horizontally as he fought with them. Bang! A 6th-level martial master assassin was swept by the long spear and his body was sent flying 100 meters away. His face was pale. However, Lu Ming also paid a price. There was an additional sword wound on his body, and blood flowed out. Refine for me. Lu Ming roared. In his body, he had just devoured the blood essence of 2 6th-level martial master assassins. At this moment, he was fighting and refining it at the same time. He wanted to break through to the next realm. His cultivation was originally at the peak of the 3rd-level martial master realm. He was only a step away from the 4th-level martial master realm. As long as he could break through, his battle strength would increase greatly and he would be able to fight back. However, it was not so easy to break through to the next realm after reaching the martial master realm. Boom! The true chi in his body was rumbling, but it was difficult to break through in a short period of time. Not enough energy. I have to kill another person and devour another person's blood essence before I can break through. Lu Ming roared in his heart. Kill. He used all his strength to pounce towards the injured assassin. However, how could the other assassins let him do as he wished? They attacked him with all their might. Not long after, 2 more wounds appeared on Lu Ming's body. If he had not dodged in time, he would have been split in half. However, he got the result he wanted after getting injured. That 6th-level martial master assassin was once again swept by Lu Ming's spear. This spear was even more domineering. Half of the opponent's body almost exploded as he flew out. He was already half dead. Die. Lu Ming dashed forward without a care for anything else. Poochie. Lu Ming paid the price of another wound. But he also finished off that 6th-level martial master assassin with a single spear. Devour. The spirit-devouring bloodline erupted with a powerful devouring power and devoured the opponent's blood essence in an instant. Rumble. Suddenly, waves of energy emerged from the bloodline. Break. Break for me. Lu Ming roared in his heart as he dodged the remaining assassin's attacks with all his might. After a dozen more moves, Lu Ming's injuries became more serious and the situation became more and more unfavorable for him. Boom. At this moment, a rumble suddenly erupted from his body. Lu Ming's aura instantly surged. He had broken through to the 4th-level martial master realm. Boom. Lu Ming swept out with his spear and collided with a 7th-level martial master assassin. The long spear and the battle sword clashed. The assassin's face suddenly changed. His battle sword was bent, and his body was sent flying backwards with a swish sound. How is it possible to break through to the next realm? An assassin roared. Now, let's see who will kill who. Lu Ming roared. His aura was wild as he swept out with his long spear. The spear light was like a mountain. Bang! Bang! 2 6th-level martial master assassins were directly sent flying. They slid on the mountain for dozens of meters and were already half dead, unable to move. Monster! What a monster! Let's go. The remaining 3 7th-level martial master experts' faces changed. Without thinking, they actually turned around and ran. Lu Ming's eyes were cold as he stared at one of them and chased after him. The assassin who was being chased by Lu Ming roared. He was shocked because he realized that his speed was not as fast as Lu Ming's. Soon, Lu Ming caught up. I'll fight you to the death. The assassin roared and attacked Lu Ming. Unfortunately, he was not Lu Ming's opponent at all. Now, Lu Ming had already broken through to the 4th-level martial master realm. Even if he faced an 8th-level martial master, he could still fight, let alone him. Completely suppressed. This assassin used all his strength and could only resist a dozen moves before he was pierced through by Lu Ming's spear. Then, Lu Ming devoured the assassin's blood essence and turned around to kill the other 2 6th-level martial master assassins and devoured their blood essence. Storage ring. Lu Ming realized that each of these assassins had a storage ring. Lu Ming took it without hesitation. Then, his figure moved and headed towards the deep mountains and forests. After running for more than 30 miles in one breath, Lu Ming stopped. His body trembled and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Although he had achieved great results in the battle just now, his injuries were not light either. Duanmu family, if I, Lu Ming, don't flatten you, I swear I'm not human. Chapter 193. After that, Lu Ming entered the Temple of Paragon and started to refine the essence blood to heal himself. At this moment, on a mountain peak 100 miles away from Lu Ming, a black-robed man with a golden wolf mask stood with his hands behind his back. He was exuding a cold, murderous aura. He was the golden wolf assassin from the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Whoosh! Whoosh! Suddenly, 2 figures rushed toward the mountain peak as fast as lightning. When they arrived in front of the man with the golden wolf mask, they immediately knelt down. What happened? Where are the others? The man with the golden wolf mask asked coldly. Sir, the others are all dead. They were killed by Lu Ming. The information we received was wrong. Lu Ming is not half crippled. One of the silver wolf assassins said. Not crippled? Then, can he still use his beast soul? The golden wolf assassin asked. I don't think so. Although he killed so many of our men, Lu Ming's injuries are not light. He didn't use his beast soul even in such a situation. I think he has used up all his beast souls. One of the silver wolf assassins guessed. Good. It's good that he doesn't have any beast souls. Lu Ming is dead for sure. The 2 of you, follow me and go after Lu Ming. The golden wolf assassin ordered. Previously, he did not attack together because he was afraid that Lu Ming still had beast souls, so he sent someone to test him first. Now that it was confirmed that Lu Ming did not have any beast souls, he was going to attack. Yes, the two silver wolf assassins answered. With the sound of something breaking through the air, the three figures disappeared without a trace. In the Temple of Paragon, Lu Ming was refining the essence blood with all his might. Fortunately, most of his injuries were external, so it was relatively easy to treat them. When the essence blood turned into rolling energy and was refined by Lu Ming, his injuries healed quickly. His muscles wriggled and his wounds began to heal. Soon, Lu Ming's wounds began to scab. This was also because Lu Ming's physical body had reached the complete second grade. Ordinary people would not be able to do this. 2 days later, Lu Ming's injuries had completely healed, and his cultivation had even improved. I'm afraid that the Shadow Wolf Pavilion will not give up so easily. They will definitely send people after me. I cannot take the main road to the imperial capital this time. I will travel along the desolate mountain range. I can hunt demonic beasts along the way and raise my cultivation. I can also practice martial techniques. Lu Ming fell into deep thought. After that, he walked out of the Temple of Paragon and hid his aura. He walked through the forest towards the imperial capital. But not long after, Lu Ming felt a terrifying pressure coming from afar. Whoosh! A beam of rainbow light pierced through the air. Within the rainbow light was a black-robed man wearing a golden wolf mask. Martial Ancestor Realm Expert, Shadow Wolf Pavilion's Golden Wolf Assassin. Lu Ming's expression changed greatly. The Golden Wolf Assassins of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion were all experts at the Martial Ancestor Realm and above. They were not people that Lu Ming could defeat. Go! Without any hesitation, Lu Ming executed the airborne steps to the maximum and ran towards the depths of the forest. Ha ha ha, Lu Ming, I don't know what method you used to hide for 2 days. But now, you can't hide anymore and have shown yourself. Let's see where you can run to this time. The Golden Wolf Assassin let out an ear-piercing laugh. Lu Ming ran wildly. He stepped on the trees and his body shot forward like a bolt of lightning. He was so fast that he looked like a phantom. However, the Golden Wolf Assassin was a Martial Ancestor Realm expert and could walk in the air. His speed was beyond the realm of mortals. Lu Ming could not shake him off at all. Die! Whoosh! A beam of sword chi pierced through the air and charged towards Lu Ming. It was fast, ruthless, and extremely powerful. Dodge! I have to dodge. Lu Ming growled. His body moved continuously, and he barely managed to dodge the sword. But he was also hit by the sword, and a part of his sleeve disappeared. You actually managed to dodge my sword. What about now? The Golden Wolf Assassin sneered and waved the combat sword in his hand. Whoosh whoosh, there were more than 10 beams of sword chi. Each of them was extremely powerful and unstoppable. Ancient shield. Lu Ming shouted, and an ancient shield appeared. Clang! The sword chi slashed on the shield, and the shield shook violently. Then, it exploded. Lu Ming's body was also sent flying dozens of meters backward. He crashed into a tree that was so thick that it would take one person to hug it. At this moment, the sound of something breaking through the air could be heard. 2 figures rushed over. They were the 2 Silver Wolf Assassins. Lu Ming, you won't be able to escape this time. One of the Silver Wolf Assassins laughed loudly. Shadow Wolf Pavilion, I don't care where you came from. As long as I, Lu Ming, am alive, I will destroy your Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Lu Ming growled and continued to run into the depths of the forest. You want to destroy my Shadow Wolf Pavilion? How naive. The Golden Wolf Assassin sneered and continued to chase him in the sky. Behind the golden mask, there was a cold look in his eyes. He was looking for an opportunity to kill with a single strike. Facing a genius like Lu Ming, even someone as powerful as him didn't dare to underestimate him. Otherwise, he would be the one at a disadvantage. This is the time. The Golden Wolf Assassin's eyes suddenly lit up. The combat sword in his hand glowed and a bright and sharp sword chi pierced out. The Golden Wolf Assassin used all his strength in this attack. It was unbelievably fast. Moreover, it seemed like he had calculated Lu Ming's running route. It seemed like Lu Ming was going to collide with the sword chi. Oh no! Lu Ming's heart beat rapidly and his hair stood on end. At this moment, he could feel the aura of death. It was as if the Grim Reaper was pointing his scythe at him. I can't dodge it. I have to block it. I can't die yet. Lu Ming screamed in his heart. His eyes were bloodshot. In an instant, the power of his bloodline erupted. At the same time, an ancient shield appeared. Explode! Lu Ming stabbed out with his long spear. The tip of the spear emitted a bright light. It was as if there was a bright star at the tip of Lu Ming's spear. A terrifying wave burst out. This was the strongest move that Lu Ming could perform at the moment. It blasted towards the sword Qi above his head. Qi. Suddenly, a white light flew out from the depths of the forest. It was like a flying immortal. It also blasted towards the sword Qi of the Golden Wolf Assassin. Boom! Lu Ming's attack combined with the white light and collided with the sword Qi of the Golden Wolf Assassin. Violent energy shot out in all directions. The trees, flowers, and other things in the forest were instantly crushed into pieces. Lu Ming felt a powerful surge of energy. His body flew back dozens of meters. However, he also blocked the Golden Wolf Assassin's attack. Who helped me? Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. Who? How dare you block me? Are you courting death? The Golden Wolf Assassin roared. In the depths of the forest, a white figure flashed out. The person who came was actually a young woman. She wore a white dress. Her skin was like jade, and she was extremely beautiful. Seeing this woman, Lu Ming was shocked. He couldn't help but blurt out, "Xian Yinqing, it's you." The young woman's eyes flashed. She looked at Lu Ming and shouted, "Come with me." After saying that, her figure flashed. Like a fairy from the ninth heaven, she ran towards the depths of the forest. Chapter 194. You want to leave? None of you can leave today. The Golden Wolf Assassin roared and chased after them. Below, the two Silver Wolf Assassins also quickly followed behind. In a dozen breaths, they had covered a few hundred meters and arrived at a purple bamboo forest. At this point, the young woman stopped. "Xian Yinqing, leave quickly. The opponent is a martial arts grandmaster. Even if we join forces, we won't be a match for him." Lu Ming exclaimed softly, "I'm not Xian Yinqing." The young woman suddenly glanced at Lu Ming and said coldly. Lu Ming was stunned. Not Xian Yinqing? How could it be? She looked exactly like Xian Yinqing. How could she not be him? What was this girl up to again? Wait a minute. Something's not right. This woman is different from Xian Yinqing. Lu Ming took a closer look. Indeed, although this woman looked exactly like Xian Yinqing, there were still some differences. First of all, this woman should be slightly older than Xian Yinqing by 1 or 2 years. Xian Yinqing looked younger than Lu Ming, while this woman was about the same age as Lu Ming. Also, their temperaments were completely different. Xian Yinqing was mischievous, like a little witch. This woman, on the other hand, had a calm expression, like an otherworldly fairy. How could there be two people who look so similar in this world? Lu Ming sighed inwardly. Swoosh! The Golden Wolf Assassin flew above the purple bamboo forest. Behind him, the two Silver Wolf Assassins also flew over. Haha, so it's such a beautiful woman. Good. I can kill Lu Ming and have a good time. When the Golden Wolf Assassin saw the young woman's face, his eyes lit up and revealed a lustful look. He secretly sighed that his luck was really good. Chasing Lu Ming, he actually encountered such a peerless beauty. This trip was not in vain. You're courting death. The Golden Wolf Assassin's words caused the young woman's eyes to emit a cold killing intent. Her originally cold face became even colder. Demon slaughtering formation. Rise. Suddenly, the young woman shouted softly. Her hands formed a seal, and inscriptions appeared out of thin air and flew into the purple bamboo forest. Wong. In the purple bamboo forest, there was a soft sound. Then, rays of white light shot up into the sky. These white rays of light converged in the air, forming white sword Qi. As the sword Qi swam, a shocking killing intent filled the air. The Great Inscription Formation. So you set up the Great Inscription Formation here. But even if there is a Great Inscription Formation, so what? What can you, a great martial master, do to me? The Golden Wolf Assassin sneered. Demon Slaying Formation. Slay demons and eliminate demons. The young woman shouted and waved her hands. In the air, 3 streaks of white sword Qi danced and whistled towards the Golden Wolf Assassin. Demon slaughtering array. Let's see who you can slaughter. Break. The golden wolf assassin slashed out with his sword, and 3 resplendent sword chi blasted towards the white sword chi. Boom, boom, boom. There was an explosion, but it did not destroy the young woman's great inscription formation as the golden wolf assassin had expected. The sword chi collided and dissipated together. How can she be so strong? The golden wolf assassin was shocked. However, the young woman waved her hand again. In the purple bamboo forest, the white light became brighter. In an instant, more than 10 streaks of white sword chi condensed in the air. Oh no, you guys retreat. The golden wolf assassin's face changed greatly, and he shouted at the 2 silver wolf assassins. It's too late. The young woman's voice seemed to be emotionless and incomparably cold. As her voice fell, the white sword chi in the air also crossed the void. With 2 screams, the 2 silver wolf assassins of the 7th level martial minter realm were pierced through by the sword chi and killed in the forest. At the same time, more sword chi rushed towards the golden wolf assassins. Damn it! The golden wolf assassin roared. Blood flashed on his body, and a black giant wolf appeared. There were 8 blood-colored chakras on the giant wolf. This was the 2nd bloodline awakening of the golden wolf assassin. The 2nd bloodline was a level 8 ordinary bloodline. The golden wolf assassin's combat strength increased greatly, and in an instant, he slashed out more than 10 times. Whoosh, 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 in the sky, sword chi crisscrossed. Streaks of black sword chi and white sword chi intersected, and the terrifying sword chi shot out in all directions. Demon-slaying formation, God-slaying. The young woman shouted softly. Her body emitted a dazzling white light, and she looked incomparably holy. In the purple bamboo forest, the power of the inscription formation was even stronger. Streaks of sword chi seemed to appear endlessly, and they blasted towards the golden wolf assassin. Suddenly, there was a scream. Blood splattered, and one of the golden wolf assassin's arms was cut off. The golden wolf assassin roared. He became one with his sword, and turned into a dazzling sword light that soared into the sky, out of the attack range of the inscription formation. Damn it, I'll remember today's big grudge. The 2 of you will face the endless pursuit of my shadow wolf pavilion. The golden wolf assassin roared, filled with endless killing intent. Then, he turned into a streak of light and disappeared in the sky. What a pity. The young woman sighed softly, as if it was a pity that she didn't kill the golden wolf assassin. Lu Ming, on the other hand, was shocked. This woman's methods were really shocking. She actually used an inscription formation to cut off one of the golden wolf assassin's arms. Although the golden wolf assassin's cultivation was at the 1st martial ancestor realm, but this woman's cultivation was only at the 6th martial master realm. The gap between a martial grandmaster realm and a martial ancestor realm was huge, and it was difficult to cross. What a terrifying formation. What is this woman's background? Lu Ming thought to himself. All right, the other party has left. You should leave too. The young woman looked at Lu Ming with her beautiful eyes. Her voice was still cold, like a fairy that couldn't be approached. Miss, why did you save me? Lu Ming asked. He was a little curious. He had never met this woman before, so why would she spend so much effort to save him, and even fight a martial ancestor realm expert? He didn't think that he had such great charm, and looking at the young woman's expression, it didn't seem like it was because of his charm. Woo woo! At this moment, a flash of lightning appeared in the depths of the purple bamboo forest. No, that wasn't lightning. It was a leopard, a lightning leopard. Lightning leopard. Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He remembered that when he had just joined the Mystic Essence Sword Sect and participated in the assessment, he had released a lightning leopard cub and obtained a little lightning leopard blood. Although the lightning leopard in front of him wasn't a cub, it was very young and was quite similar to the lightning leopard cub back then. Woo woo! The lightning leopard stared at Lu Ming and barked a few times. Then, it approached Lu Ming and rubbed against Lu Ming's thigh. You are the one from back then? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Woo woo! The lightning leopard nodded. It was really the lightning leopard cub from back then. What a coincidence. If you hadn't saved little lightning once, why would I save you this time? Chapter 195. The young woman's voice was very cold. She continued, "If little Sean hadn't recognized you just now, I wouldn't have saved you. This is good too. You saved little Sean once, and I saved you once. From now on, we don't owe each other anything." Lu Ming was speechless. This woman was too arrogant and cold. At the same time, Lu Ming also understood that the reason why she had saved him was because the lightning leopard had discovered him. No matter what, it's all because you saved me this time. Lu Ming is grateful. I'll take my leave then. Lu Ming cupped his fists and then turned to leave. Wait a minute. Unexpectedly, the young woman called out. Lu Ming turned and said, "May I know what's the matter, miss? I heard you call me Xian Yinqing just now. You're Xian Yinqing's friend, right?" The young woman asked. Friend? Lu Ming couldn't help but think of his relationship with Xian Yinqing. It was already good enough that Xian Yinqing didn't attack him when she saw him. How could she be his friend? Lu Ming shook his head and said, "I've only met Xian Yinqing once. We can't be considered friends. I don't care if you're her friend or not. The next time you see her, help me pass her a message. Tell her not to keep thinking about surpassing me, because it's just a waste of time. It's impossible," the young woman said, her voice filled with confidence and a sense of superiority. Seeing this expression, Lu Ming didn't know why, but he felt uncomfortable in his heart. "May I know what's the relationship between you and Xian Yinqing? If I meet her, I'll definitely pass on the message," Lu Ming said indifferently. His voice also became a little cold. "I'm Xian Yinjuan. I'm her elder sister," the young woman said. As expected, no wonder they look exactly the same. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. But other than their looks, the two sisters were too different in other aspects. "All right, the Shadow Wolf Pavilion will definitely send people here. I'm leaving. You should leave too," Xian Yinjuan said indifferently. "Miss, why don't you leave first? I'll leave after a while," Lu Ming said. "Suit yourself," Xian Yinjuan said indifferently. From beginning to end, he didn't even look at the two silver wolf assassins' corpses. She turned around and floated away. Her white dress fluttered in the wind, making her look like a fairy from the 9 heavens. Is the item left behind by a 7th-level martial master not even worth mentioning in her eyes? But I won't miss it. Lu Ming walked towards the bodies of the two silver wolf assassins. After devouring their blood essences, he took off their storage rings. With a flash, Lu Ming left the place and headed towards the depths of the forest. In the forest, ancient trees towered into the sky. Lu Ming walked for more than 100 miles. Then, with a thought, he entered the Temple of Paragon and began to refine the blood essence. Not long after, the meridian blood of the two 7th-level martial grandmasters was completely refined by Lu Ming. Lu Ming's cultivation had also reached the mid-7th-level martial grandmaster. After refining the essence blood, Lu Ming started to organize the storage rings he got from the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. There were a total of 8 rings. In the end, he got more than 60 million taels of silver. The silver was just a small number. The most important thing was the spirit crystals. After sorting them out, there were more than 23,000 pieces. Adding the previous ones, Lu Ming had nearly 40,000 spirit crystals. Other than the silver and spirit crystals, the rest were all miscellaneous items. They weren't of much help to Lu Ming. Is this a disguise mask? Suddenly, Lu Ming found a disguise mask among the clothes and miscellaneous items. The Shadow Wolf Pavilion was an assassin organization. They often had to disguise themselves to assassinate people. It was normal for them to have a disguise on them. Lu Ming looked at it carefully and found that the quality of the disguise was very good. It should be made from the skin of some kind of demonic beast. Lu Ming put the disguise on his face. It didn't feel like he was wearing anything because it was very thin. I wonder how effective it is. Let's go out and take a look. Lu Ming went out of the Temple of Paragon and found a pool in the forest. He looked at himself in the pool. Suddenly, a young man in his 20s with a dark face and a rather cold face came into view. What a wonderful disguise. It's like I'm a completely different person. Lu Ming looked at it carefully and found that the disguise was tightly attached to his face. It was impossible to tell that he was wearing a disguise. Then let's change again. With a thought, crackling sounds could be heard from Lu Ming's body. His bones were wriggling, and in the end, Lu Ming's height actually increased by a little. His figure also became a little more burly. Lu Ming could only do this when his physical body reached the complete second grade. It could cause slight changes in his physical body. Although the changes weren't big, with the disguise, Lu Ming seemed to be a completely different person. Even the people closest to him wouldn't be able to recognize him. Good. This way, I won't be afraid of the Shadow Wolf Pavilion. Moreover, no one will be able to recognize me when I go to the imperial capital. This will make it easier for me to investigate my father's matter. Lu Ming thought. Then, Lu Ming continued to go deep into the mountains. According to his previous plan, he would cultivate as he went to the imperial capital. Now, Lu Ming's cultivation mainly had three directions. One was the comprehension of the fire force, the second was the high air steps, and the third was the ancient shield technique. Roar! 7 days later, a Class 6 LV-3 demonic beast covered in scales was pierced through the throat by Lu Ming's spear. It roared and fell to the ground. The spirit-devouring bloodline activated and devoured the demonic beast's blood essence. At the same time, the monster core appeared in Lu Ming's hand. The blood essence was used by Lu Ming to upgrade his bloodline grade, while the monster core was used to improve his cultivation. Just like this, he hunted demonic beasts while he went to the imperial capital. 1 month later, a swift-winged sparrow flapped its wings in the air and fled frantically. Behind it, Lu Ming stepped on the void and followed closely behind the swift-winged sparrow at lightning speed. Swoosh! Swoosh! Lu Ming's body seemed to be weightless as he floated in the air. After flying for a few hundred meters, Lu Ming's body slowly landed. After landing, Lu Ming stepped on the tip of a big tree. Lu Ming's body shot into the sky like an arrow and chased after the swift-winged sparrow. The swift-winged sparrow screeched in fright and flew desperately. However, no matter what it did, it couldn't get rid of Lu Ming. Haha, Lu Ming laughed. After flying for a few miles, Lu Ming landed on the top of a mountain and sat down cross-legged. After more than a month of hard work, Lu Ming's airborne steps had reached the peak of the 5th level. Just a little bit more, and he would be able to enter the 6th level. Just now, when he was chasing after the swift-winged sparrow, he suddenly understood something. Wind, invisible, yet omnipresent. Wind, light, erratic, yet fast as lightning. Lu Ming closed his eyes and quietly comprehended. The principle of the airborne steps was to use the genuine qi in the body to resonate with the wind and the air to achieve the purpose of riding the wind for a short period of time. Feeling the breeze from the top of the mountain, Lu Ming's face revealed a smile. A green breeze slowly swirled around his body. Lu Ming's body seemed to be as light as a feather, as if he could be blown away by the wind at any time. After an unknown period of time, swish, Lu Ming suddenly opened his eyes. His figure moved, and he took a step forward. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.